Hello, Zebra Squad. This is the Professor Reaper here with another banger, but this time not a what if, an explanatorial video on the rankings. Now, as you see here, I have all the characters in their tiers from mid to god. Now, as I said, 1A, not UA. Well, UA has still ranking between having the average of at least 50 mid tiers or high tiers. But 1A is the best of the best, with the only class with God tiers. Now, as I said, this is based off of an ordinary, which still has some very OP characters. So, as explained, at the top God tiers, we have Masayoshi, Deku, that ranked 3. 2, we have Wanda, because, well, she can warp reality. Well, she can't warp it yet, maybe part 4. It's gonna be a while! Okay, Bakugo, Ojo, and Todoroki. We have Kirishima, Sato, Ida, Tokuyami, which I felt was fitting. Honestly, I think I should have ranked him number 1 because he gets stronger the darker it gets. Momo, because I feel like her quirk is versatile when it comes to battle. Shoji and Kaminari, because, well, very lightning-based powers. Then for the low tier, or the weaklings of the class, or mid-tier, number 1 is Ojiro, the guy with the tail. I think that's a dude. Jiro, Toru, Uraraka, yes, she exists. I just never mentioned her because not the ship. Koda, the dude with the animal powers. Ioma, the stalker. Mina, and Asui. Toru's the girl who's invisible. In terms of power, it's not that good, but in terms of versatility, utility, it's pretty useful. Now, the way the ranking system works is that it bases you off your speed, durability, versatility, utility, and damage output. See, the God tiers, also how much destructive power, but the damage output is they're the best. Like how versatile, utilizable their quirks are and everything. Deku's quirk is very utilizable, even though it's not even a quirk. People think it's a quirk, hence the whole metal manipulation. But the ability of just making chains appear in thin air, manipulating them with his mind, and the destructive power it possesses, going kind of finger to finger, I guess you could say, with demon princes, even though he can't last a set. He's able, for when he gets older, he'll be able to beat the princes, beat some of the weaker princes. I don't think he'll be able to beat Lucifer. Wanda, on the other hand, her quirk is all about versatility and utility. Well, Momo's it too, but we'll get to that. And her power is also very destructive. It also how much destructive power you have. So Deku, I say could probably take out an entire city if you wanted to. Full power Deku with his Ghost Rider power in his ghost form as he is now could probably take out an entire city, if not mid-scale city. Wanda, I could say maybe maxes out at mini-scale city, if not, I'd say she maxes out at about mini-scale city or at least large-scale block. Bakugo, on the other hand, he's pretty physical. The destructive capabilities his quirk has is very, very good, despite being a dick and a side character that nobody likes. Even though in the manga he got the redemption arc, he's not getting a redemption arc. Never. But he can put out maybe a destructive output of 8.97, which is high as hell. And I'd say he has more destructive capabilities than Wanda does, right now at least. I'd say he could destroy at least a small city. Ojo, on the other hand, has a versatile utility quirk that can help with damage, but it's not really that good in damage output and stuff like that. It's good when it comes to defense and speed, but when it comes to raw power, it does not help her. Todoroki, on the other hand, fire and ice, which is a very good combo. Plus, it will get stronger as time goes on. And he did start training with Deku to help control his fire. Now, he's not a dick to Deku, unlike Bakugo and them. Masayoshi, he's not on the list. Todoroki is not on the list. His quirk can actually be utilized in many ways due to it being an elemental-based quirk, allowing him to manipulate the elements. Now on to the elite tiers. The tiers that are nowhere near as powerful as the gods. They're strong, but they're not as strong as the gods. No way. Number 1, we have obviously Kirishima, which is self-explanatory. He has the most defensive quirk, which can actually put out a lot of strength. But in terms of physical strength, Sato should be number 1. Takes number 1 in the spot. But He's pretty powerful, destructive power, but if he takes up too much sugar, he can have a sugar high and die. King of diabetics. What? Ida is probably one of the fastest kids in the entire school due to his engine quirk. But compared to the god tiers, I'd say like Wanda and Masayoshi, Bakugo, he's nowhere near as fast. Then we got Tokyo. Probably, if when it comes to destructive power, it's probably in the god tier. Because Dark Shadow, it's very overpowered when you think about it in the long run. It allows him for long scale travel. He can output a lot of damage, an output damage of almost that of Bakugo's of a 7.9, and it can cover him in weapons, not weapons, well, in this one he can. He can turn it, and the darker it gets, it's basically like a counterclockwise sunshine, just not as OP, I wish. Idea, but, the darker it gets, the stronger it gets. But the downside of that is the more feral he becomes uncontrollable. But he becomes, as time goes on, he will be way stronger than he ever will. Hope to be. Momo is probably one of the most versatile and utilizable quirks out of the entire ranking system. Right? Probably right next to Deku. Due to the fact of her being able to create any type of weapons she knows she has knowledge of and knows of, it's very overpowered. She can create entire nuclear bombs if she wanted to. Her quirk in the anime is very underutilized. So, I don't know. So easy to do with multiple arms. Well, versatile, but not as powerful as some of the others. Kaminari, more powerful than his quirk is. More versatile, but he's strong. But he's at the bottom of the list. Weakness of Class 1A. We got Ojiro, the guy with the tail. Self-explanatory, really. He's the only one out of this entire group who actually has good combat skills. Besides, I don't think Uraraka does. Jiro. Self-explanatory. Sound manipulation. Very overpowered. Now for Toru. See, her quirk, not very overpowered. The overpowered thing about it is that she's invisible. It's very utilizable and versatile. But it fails in everything. She's basically a normal human being, just she can turn herself invisible. She can bend light to her will. Spoilers. But still, she's not that OP. Only thing about her quirk that's utilizable is her invisibility. She'd make the ultimate assassin and spy, hence the spy for All for One. Spoilers. Uraraka, her quirk's very versatile, but one of her most undermining weaknesses is the fact that if she uses it for too long and lifts too much, she pukes. Her quirk has amazing potential, being able to create black holes, gravity manipulation. Some people might think about it. I mean, look at fucking Lucifero from fucking Black Clover. He could level entire kingdoms with a finger. Yes, her quirk isn't as OP as his magic power, but it still has potential like that. Hata, tape nigga. He's basically Spider-Man. Koda, he has very important, because let's be honest, dragons kind of exist in this story, but they don't exist. They haven't. Yes, it's going to be a dragon outbreak soon. Yes, there are going to be Sith. Right, the Sith are going to be riding dragons. Yes, I just couldn't help, okay? So yes, he's going to be able to tame a dragon. Sort of. He won't be able to kill dragons, baby dragons, adult dragons. I don't know. His quirk can be utilized in weird ways, but it also has a very good pierceable power. Hold up. In terms of destructive capabilities, it's not that good. I'd say maybe low elite. But Mina, damage is very useful. Being the ability to make nitroglycerin acid, just that's vodka. So having the ability to manipulate acid and just it doesn't affect her or her friends. She can manipulate how hot it gets or anything. That's pretty useful and pretty dangerous. And I should have ranked her. If anything, let's get rid of fucking Toru. Put her in rank 3. Her power's pretty utilizable, but if you put her in a too cold environment and take her away from water, she's basically the soccer of this verse. So that's the explaining of the ranking and how the power system works. But the more skills you have, but the ranking is completely off of quirk power. Deku takes the spot for this one. Out of all of that. That's without him holding back, at least. anyone in the God tier, well, the only one in God tier who I think could give Deku a run for his money is probably Wanda. Well, that's all. Don't worry, the next part for this, for What If Deku Was a Ghost Rider, will be coming out. There are a lot more parts. There's 11 parts in total now. I will be uploading those when I get to part 13. I will not make any more videos, so it's not going to end. I'm just going to upload the rest, then keep recording. Like I said, the Sith are going to get introduced in part 13, but that's my explanation of how the power system works. Goodbye, Zero Squad. Have a good day / night wherever you are. Be safe, and please like and subscribe.